Sure, man.
All right. Who's on one? 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go back to the beginning. Can I just hear, let's hear parts 2, 3, and 4. Really paying attention that we're not swinging this, even though it kind of sounds like it's swung. Still doing the time rhythm with the system does. Parts 2, 3, and 4. First check our pitches. Beat 2 of 1, it should be in part 4. We have an F. In part 3, we have a C. In part 2, we have an E. Those are all in concert pitch. Yeah. Cool. This time, can we take out the time? Da, 1, da, 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 dum, bum, bum. Same parts. Make sure we're doing that together. Listen across. Let's tie back in. 1, da, 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 da. No accent, I might have done that. Good. We also check our note. This down beat of 5, which is would be a D in part 4, and G in part 3, and an A in part 2. So we have part 5. Yeah, down beat would be D, G, A. Make sure that we're listening for tuning as we go on too. Can I just hear part 1? From the top. All right, let's add those two groups. Make sure that we're picking up where each other leaves off with our quarter note lines.
What does that mean?
That we're continuing the line.
Okay. Anybody else with me not sure what that meant? Picking up where the others left off? Yeah. I mean to nitpick you, but that's what we're here to do.
Okay.
You know, not
Do
sure
more
I got it.
comments
So you
for
could just
you.
say connect each other's lines, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
From the top. Let's go ahead and add bass voice. Actually, let's just do bass in first part. A lot of times when you come in, you are actually at a perfect fit. So you can listen to him for tuning. Tuning's a bit of an issue with this one right now. So just part 1 and 5. One more time. Still listen for a third. Yeah. Everyone on top. Let's go starting in.
Philip, we're about to run out of time, so let me just try to make a couple points I think would be good for you and for everybody. I think Philip did some terrific rehearsing techniques. I think the taking the tie off thing is really an excellent idea. This is a difficult excerpt, and the mistakes are hidden pretty well. I'm going to presume the fifth thing came from looking at an F in the bass clef,
Yeah.
and then looking at that A, which in the bass clef is a C. And that's a very common issue that all of us that have ever had to stand on the podium in front of a group have made that mistake. If you haven't yet, you will very soon, trust me. Get your wires crossed with your clefs. And so Phil did a nice job of just sort of smiling and going, oops, yep, sorry about that. And your ears must have been sort of screaming at you
Yeah,
that it wasn't a fifth,
yeah.
but you're hunting for errors, so maybe that's an issue. I want to talk, or maybe that's the cause, the hunting for errors thing, that it didn't scream at you that the fifth wasn't sounding the way you wanted. And it's also a wonky fifth, even if it was a fifth, because it's transposed the octave as well. So I want to talk about when it's okay to sing rhythms and when it's not. So Philip sung a rhythm here, right, when you put the tie back in.
Right.
And I thought it was just fine. It's a totally appropriate time to sing a rhythm. When is it, what's your experience, you guys? I don't know what you're being told from different faculty here and there. I have my feelings about when it's okay to sing a rhythm and when it's not okay to sing a rhythm. Some folks say never sing a rhythm ever. I don't agree with that, because I think singing and modeling shape and musical ideas is valuable. What makes Philip's rhythm singing okay? Yeah?
He had us play, or he sang the rhythm without the tie. So he was singing, he wasn't actually singing the written rhythm, but he was singing the 16th. That's what he was.
I agree with that. I think there's a deeper issue, and rather than play Easter egg hunt, what spoke to me is that you guys played the rhythm already, and he was singing to you what he wanted to change, or the way he wanted to articulate it. He didn't sing the rhythm. What I'm trying to say is he didn't sing the rhythm to teach you how to play a dotted quarter and 2/16. You know what I mean? He didn't sing it to you so that you knew how to count it. Let me put it that way. He sang it to you in relation to what he was doing in rehearsal and in a musical kind of a way. I'm trying to get at this in sort of a sideways kind of a way, but maybe making it confusing. If you're trying to sing rhythms, or if you're choosing to sing rhythms because your students can't count rhythms, then you're making a mistake, because your students will never learn to count rhythms that way, or just even see. Let's take that word out of there, count rhythms. Dr. Steele used to say for many years that really the only way to learn rhythms is to see a rhythm and then play the rhythm. I mean, we can get into that takatimi and the wanianda and the lali kind of stuff. That's okay, but really you can't really interpret rhythms until you're to the level where you can see it and just play it. Give me a tempo, there's the cymbals, and now I know what that rhythm feels like, it sounds like, the way related to how it looks. So if we're singing because our students need us to hold their music up and say, can you tell me how this goes? Right? That's the feeding a person a fish, rather than teaching them to fish. And that's where it's very challenging. We have to stand our ground and say, listen, I can't do that for you. Now I can help you. How many beats go in a quarter note? How many beats go in a half note? And it's a painful, minute in rehearsal sometimes. Feels like an hour, but it's usually only just about a minute. And it's very tempting to just give it to them because you want to move on to what's next. But that's embedding that issue where we have students that are illiterate. They don't ever learn to sing on their own. So my feeling is if you have established that your students understand the rhythm, sing all day long. Singing is a great thing in rehearsal. When I was a middle school band director, my trombone was on a stand right next to the podium. So I would play all the time. Sing when I just wanted to get something done really quickly, but I played, and then they played, and I played, and then they played. Modeling is a great thing, as long as we're teaching them to fish, not handing them the fish, right? We all know that thing about eat for a day or eat for a lifetime. We're trying to help them eat for a lifetime. Remember, we're trying to help them not need us to be able to be musicians. If they don't know how to read rhythms, they will always need us. We want them to not need us. Okay, thanks, Philip. And that means that Chloe's next.